You were listening to Wait a Minute with Beth and Jessica.
Episode 62. I'm Jessica Pearson, certified life coach.
And I'm Beth Barnett-Babel, integrative nutrition therapist.
Okay, so today is a special episode. First, because Beth is in Japan. This is her first episode to record from Japan. So, hi, Beth, from yesterday. You're living in the future.
And if you see the video, you see the thing, the international thing of I live somewhere else, the mini split.
Yeah. And then we also have our very super special guest, Katie Sturino, entrepreneur, self-made beauty mogul, author, podcaster, body acceptance advocate. You might know her from Instagram or be familiar with her beauty brand, MegaBabe. Please welcome Katie Sturino. Thanks so much for being here.
Hi, everyone. Hello.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you. I know you and Beth want to catch up on Japan before we get started.
Well, I just need to know if you have been to the 7-Elevens yet in Tokyo.
Yes, multiple times. It was the very first thing. We dropped our stuff off, and then the first thing that we needed to get put into our body came from the 7-Eleven, because the 7-Eleven is no joke. If I had to wait 5 minutes to walk in the door, it's only because I have to wait for the light to cross the street.
Wow.
But it is like, if I didn't, it would be 1.5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes tops. And so I had to try the egg salad sandwich first thing. And I was very excited that I was hungry when I got here so I could have it. And I have since had the other iteration where it's the chicken garage with however you say that, with egg
Fried
salad.
chicken.
The fried chicken thigh cutlet with the egg salad. And yeah, we've all had it. And we literally have to tell our daughter, today you cannot go to 7-Eleven. We have food in our house that we have to eat. Please stop going to 7-Eleven. Because, she has her own Suica card on her phone. And, she can just go to the 7-Eleven and use it. So when you were here, did you ride the train?
No.
You didn't? Oh, okay. So it's this region's train card, but all their train cards are also tied to money cards, and so you can do low level transactions, and so it gets you all I can buy stuff at 7-Eleven, grocery stores, ramen if I want to, and then get on the train. It's the best. Yeah.
Why does Japan get the deluxe 7-Eleven? Ours doesn't even sell vegetables.
It is. Well, I have a banana if you're lucky. It's amazing. The soy-soaked egg, onigiri, it's everyone in our family just goes with explosion every time we eat it. It's so good.
Wow. I can't believe that. And we're out here with hot dogs rotating. And they have those beautiful rice with seaweed sandwiches.
Yes, the onigiri, yes. They do have things that are in their hot thing, but it's the little pork cutlets, and it's pork steam buns and things like that. And if you buy something cold, like a bowl, they'll ask if you want to heat it up. Do you remember that? Did you ever do that?
I was buying mostly cold things because I've never been hotter in my life.
Oh, yeah. I was going to ask you about that because you came when it was even hotter than it is now, and I'm dying.
Yeah. Oh, is it still hot?
Yes.
Not to talk about the weather, but I just hot.
It applies to fashion, because I don't know about you, but when you were here in the summer, is that the women here still wear very fashionable things that cover a lot of their body. And it is I am dripping in sweat, just existing on the sidewalk.
The commitment to chicness is real.
The cooling clothing also is something that obviously I think is going to come here. The cooling collars, the fans.
Yes, but I only see the older ladies wearing the cooling collars, but everybody's got the little fan, which is great. And those are only $7, so. Yeah. Is pretty good. And they last for a really long time. We had to get Ming one day one, or she wasn't going to make it through Hirajico, that little shopping alley thing. So yes, we did that. But I'm just so impressed. They're walking around with their long skirts and fancy tops and all this. And
Mm,
I'm like, where's the sweat? I don't see the sweat.
mm-mm.
Like,
Yeah,
do you just stop sweating at some
maybe.
point?
I don't know.
But it's
That
amazing. They look amazing.
is the heat different than Texas heat?
Yes, because the humidity here is something I haven't experienced since I
Yeah.
went to Houston.
It's
And
the
I'm like,
humidity.
oh, this is, yeah, yeah, it's
Okay.
all coming back to me. It's
Okay. Okay.
terrible. Yeah. So yeah, that's the gist. And I love how the sneaker culture with the dresses though, like that is pretty dope. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yes. That was my first time buying those Nikes. I bought those just the regular Nike Jordans.
Did
You
you?
know, and I had just also watched the Jordan movie and was feeling really inspired.
Yeah.
But Katie, you've been rocking sneakers with dresses for a while. Like you are not a
Oh
heels girly,
no, no, no,
and
no.
yeah,
But it
I'm in
is very specific, the Jordans.
yeah,
Or here it's either Jordans or New Balances, and those are the top two. And then after that, there's like trickle of like everything
yeah,
else. Yeah.
yeah. No, I'm a sneakers and dress girl. I stopped being okay being uncomfortable like probably when I was like 29.
yeah, that's about when
I
it
was like,
hits.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, because
You're
you
like,
can do, I think you can do like maybe 10, you got like a solid decade of just like going out in January without a jacket and like you can do whatever you
Oh my
want.
God.
yeah.
Now it's comfort is top priority.
Yes.
We keep our eyes peeled for things in the media or in real life that come from diet culture or that perpetuate diet culture in some way. These are often the subtle ways that it creeps in, which is why we are shining a light on it and sharing it with you.
Okay. So
Jessica.
this week, thanks to another friend, listener, and graduated client, she had sent me some stuff. And so then I got onto an algorithm of new diet ads. So I don't know, Katie, what kind of like ads you get for ridiculous things, but I saw this ad and it was promoting somatic workouts for weight loss. So it showed this woman, at first it immediately highlighted her body where she's like doing the thumb in the pants and showing that there's like inches between her shorts and her waist. And then she's like, you just do these moves where you stretch your hips, and it releases your emotions and just the fat melts away. And I was
But
like,
yeah, if you can't lose weight, look to your emotions, basically.
she was just doing like hip opening, like basically yoga poses, that
Yeah.
people have been doing for centuries. Has somatic become a like hit term? Is this a trend now?
It
Like,
feels like it. At least on my feed, I see a lot of things about somatic therapy. And yeah, I
You
mean,
guys
because
know I don't know what somatic means.
so in your body, so the things like you store them in your body. So if you've ever heard of like Peter Levine talk about like the trauma that's stored in our body and those sensations that we have. And so then if you can do things to like move the energy and the trauma out of your body, then you're not storing it anymore. So, like the hips, especially the psoas area, is like a place where a lot of people store crappy emotions.
yeah.
And they just
Or
like
or
get
like
stuck in.
on the really basic level, I started somatic therapy when I was 29, 30. And simple things of like keep having your feet grounded onto the floor, or if you're feeling angry, like punching a pillow, like getting the physical energy of anger and letting it go through your body is a somatic experiencing way to process that emotion instead of talking about it, right? So a lot of times there's therapy where we sit and we talk about all of our issues, but somatic oftentimes is less talking and more like going into your physical body and identifying sensations and helping move those sensations through your body.
Cool.
Yeah, it is
but now
cool.
we can do it to lose weight and inches off of our body.
Yeah, it's cool, but it's like, why are we attributing this to weight loss? Like, that's a lot of pressure to put on therapy. Can we not just have this? Like, is
Can
the
we just not
benef-
get the feelings out of our body?
Yeah, is my mental health not enough? Like, I don't know. So yeah, if you guys have been seeing this ad, it's like, yeah, do those exercises. It's great to stretch your hips, like let your feelings out, feel your feelings. All these things are great, but why are we attributing it to losing like 6 inches off your waist? Like, does nothing sell unless you talk about weight loss? Is that
That's what I've decided. That's what I've decided.
It's what was recommended to me when I started MegaBabe. When we finally found a manufacturer who could make our thigh rescue, they said you should put anti-cellulite properties in there or women won't really buy it. They won't care.
Oh my gosh.
So, and I was like, I don't think you know any women.
Oh my gosh. Well, you proved them wrong. Yeah.
You're like, no, I get to walk around every day with like Pretty Woman and just be like, big mistake. Huge.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh
it's so true though. Like, so everything is like, if you want this to sell, you got to use weight loss. And, you know, that's our own personal struggle. Sometimes it's like, hey, come work with us. And it's like, we don't really want to talk about weight loss that much because it's like, that is not the whole picture. Like, that is not necessarily the point. And everyone's like, it'd be just so much easier if you just did that. You know,
I totally agree with you. And I think what you provide is freedom in the form of eliminating or starting to deal with food noise, at least for me. And I think that that is the most valuable thing that you can be quote unquote selling, and something that is totally undervalued by people because we don't understand it.
Yeah.
It's like advanced mentally. We're out here still, people are still doing like a skinny arm, like arm pop on the red carpet. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's like we're almost there as a people, but it's hard.
Yeah. Actually, I think that was like one of the best questions, talking about just the general progress of like the messaging on social media that you've seen.
So I am curious, like how body positivity has changed from your perspective in the world of social media from when you started, because I remember when you did have 12ish Style before you changed it to your name brand. And so, because you've been in this market and, you know, in the Insta-Who's for a long time. So I'm just like, so I'm just curious what your progression has been. And like, you know, do you see a sense of like what is to come?
I do. So I do. So when it's almost like talking about what you guys are doing. And by the way, Jess, you've never said anything about like freedom or like, this is all just my own interpretation of your work with me. And I think that it's similar to the fact that like I stepped into this space knowing that I was tired of hating my body, that women who were super in shape and much smaller than I was hated their body too. And I was like, what's the point if you hate your body and I'm supposed to be like trying to get to your size, but you don't even like it? Like, what's our point here? So I decided that I was going to like get into this body positive movement, but I didn't really know what body positivity meant. And I don't think a lot of people still know what that means. I think people think it's a euphemism for being fat. That's like one thing. Or like people think that it's like celebrating every little like curve on your body or wrinkle or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And I guess that at the end of the day, like after being called a body positive person for so long, I was like, I don't think this is what I am. Mm. And I shifted, and I think people in general have shifted towards like body acceptance or body neutrality and kind of ending the conversation. The funny thing is the conversation is louder than ever about bodies. It's just a different conversation right now.
It feels like a tug of war. It
does.
It feels like there's a lot of the extremes of like, I don't know, because of my algorithms see a lot of things that are related to the extreme side of fitness for some reason. Because I follow this one account and it got me really far. I'm like, I just want to learn about knees over toes. Like, how did I get into like the gym, weightlifting, posing videos? But here I am. So there's like all of that, like all the males and females getting really strong and like perfect bodies muscularly. And then I see the other extreme, which is I'm going to love every little inch, no matter the size and what have you. And then there's like a big group of people that hate all this over here. And then there's a big group of people that hate all this over here. And it feels like politics.
Yes. Yeah, I totally agree. I am fortunate enough to miss a lot of that action. I don't know why the algorithm doesn't send me maybe I'm not looking as much. I don't know what I'm doing right, but I really like, I'm in my DMs having positive conversations. I'm in my comments having positive conversations.
Mm.
The only time things get wonky is when something I do gets picked up and sent to a corner of the internet that I don't know, a news site, like an international story, something like that. Then I see what's happening in humanity and I'm like, holy shit. I whispered, holy shit. But yes, that is
Yeah.
how I feel. Because I'm like, people
Yeah.
are, they're like, you should die. Like, you're like the reason
Yeah.
that this country is, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're a trans man. Or, like,
Oh my
it's like
God.
everything gets like jumbled and like thrown at you, which is horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that kind of brings up a question that I have about just like your willingness to be seen and your willingness to go through this. Because I have clients that don't even want to go for a walk around the block because they're afraid what the neighbors are going to think that they're walking around the block. Like, oh, who does
What?
she think she is going for a walk when she should be inside? So how, when you just think about, and I mean, I'm not laughing at them. I'm just laughing at like our
Cool.
brain's absurdity
Yeah.
of like, we're so fearful of being seen, but you're just on this whole other level of being seen and being willing to have this like hatred spewed at you where it's actually happening to you, right?
Yeah.
So like, how do you get through that? How do you keep showing up?
Well, I think that's about your client. It's really interesting because she's not wrong to have that fear. Like I
Totally.
see things and hear things and have experienced things all the time where you're out and someone feels the need to pull over, roll down the window and call you fat ass. Like that stuff happens unfortunately a lot. Not necessarily to me out in the streets, but like it becomes ingrained in your body with that somatic stuff. Like you're
Yeah.
carrying it with you all the time. So that when you have to squeeze by a table in a restaurant or sit in an airplane seat that's small, you're bringing all that with you because you're like, well, someone's going to say something to me. Someone's going to say something to me. And so you're like, so I can understand why someone wouldn't want their neighbors to see them walking because they're right to have those fears. How do
Yeah.
I keep it going? Because way more than the comments I receive from like strange men usually or bots, I don't know. I have like a couple of those a month or whatever. But every single day I hear from women who tell me that I've helped them wear something they were scared to wear, try something they haven't done, address a body image conversation with a family member. Every day I hear those things multiple times a day. And so that's really what I draw my energy from. I don't let it get squashed by the demon beasts out on the internet. Like I take it from my community and real people who are talking to me about their own journey, and I draw power from that. Long
That's
answer,
amazing.
but that's it.
No, you're just focusing on what's working for you and the good that you're bringing into the world and, ignore the haters. I mean, somebody once told me they're like, anyone that's hating on you is usually not doing better than you.
No, you don't hate on people who are like not doing. I know.
So it's like, why do I care what they think if they're going to hate on me?
Yeah. Well, who even are these people? Is the other thing.
I don't
Like,
know. I mean, the internet is so scary. I just saw a post at like People magazine, which I used to like read all the time in my 20s, and I really should unfollow them on Instagram. But they just posted something like yesterday. I was like, who is it? Kelly Osbourne. They're like the headline was like, she went a little too far with her postpartum weight loss. And I'm like,
saw
why is
that.
this the post? But if you look in the comments, right, there's always like the vibe check of like what's going on here. And like,
Yeah.
it's always both extremes. It's like,
Yeah. And yeah,
intense.
Kelly has been vilified for in her party days. She was larger than she is now. So she was dragged through the mud for being the size that she was. And now she's their size that they want her to be. And now she's being dragged through the mud for that too. And it's like, can you just let people be
No.
whatever size they're going to be,
Yeah.
whatever's going on in their life right now? Like, just stop talking about it. Stop talking about it.
Yep.
So I guess what's interesting when you talked about the fears of judgment from others and how real that is and how it is traumatizing. And there's a constant anxiety of like, where's it going to come from next?
Mhm.
There's also the part where we're doing it to ourselves, right? At what point are we like believing what everyone else says? And then now we're turning it around, and now there's this like unhelpful shame narrative that I'm creating in my own mind on top of what else could be out in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, how do we deal with that? Because it is unhelpful and it's actually not necessary. But it's because it's just so repetitive and it's become part of this programming that we start to believe like they are right. I should not be outside walking. I should not be wearing these shorts. I should not be whatever this is.
I think you have to question where those words are coming from at some point, and if the call is coming from the inside.
Yeah.
What is that line from Scream? The
Scream
line. Yeah.
The call's coming from inside the house. Yes.
Yeah. So I am just saying that you are so helpful with me about the shame stuff, because shame can pop up for anyone, anywhere. And the things that I preach are acknowledging it, noticing it, picking it apart. Let's look at it in the mirror. And I feel like you are so helpful with me about that, because even I will come in with like a shame narrative and you're like, who is this helping? And I'm like, no one, and I'm doing it. So it's like realizing that it's you is really powerful. And because then when it comes from the outside, you don't have to carry it with you. I feel like if you're not perpetuating it, it doesn't come with you as much. It doesn't sit with you.
You talked about that a lot in your book. Like you could just get to be like, nope, and just being able to do that. You're saying that like you can do all this work on yourself and have a lot of self-love and get going, but it doesn't mean that it just magically disappears and every day is sunshine and rainbows. It's really important for people to realize that you just don't spend as much time doing it, but your brain is still your brain. It does weird things. For why we are stuck in this part of evolution, I don't know. Hopefully we all make it through. It's like, like you still have these thoughts inside your head.
Yeah. Yes. It's the time. It's the time that you spend doing the bad thing. So I, for the most part, quite honestly, don't have many shame moments, but if I have one, it's a moment. It's not a day. I'm not canceling my night. I'm not returning the clothes I bought. Like, it doesn't go to the extremes that it used to go to. It's more like me being in the mirror and being like Jess, you said body checking, like suddenly you find yourself doing something like that in the mirror and you're like, wait, what am I doing? Like, nope, get out of here, and like move on. So it's like checking yourself.
Yeah. Well, the body checking thing also came to mind because I feel like hormonally through the month, right? You can look in the mirror and it's like the same body as it was yesterday. But when you have a hormonal shift, it's like today I hate my body and tomorrow I think I'm super sexy because I have this boost of estrogen. And it's like, I am in the same body. And that's to me where it kind of like triggered like, whoa, girl, like just chill, because like if you're having a bad day, it's probably just like love yourself, accept it, and just know that it's going to pass.
And the same body. I'm getting my period in 3 days. So I'm like maximum PMS. Like I still don't understand if I'm in perimenopause. I'm not sure how to find that out. Like,
I got some info for you I can share.
I feel like at this time I'm in my like poncho, I'm in my pants.
Yeah. And it's okay, but it's like to know like, oh, during this time my brain sends me messages that like in more volume and they feel more real. And when I can realize that and just know that about my brain and know that about myself, it's like, hey, yeah, this is just like something that comes to me, but I don't have to believe it. I don't have to stick with it. I can just like walk away from the mirror, like go for a walk or like take a nap or whatever it is I need to do just to chill.
Yeah, I don't think we realize how much control we have over our body and our mind, like when we actually put the microscope on it in a good way.
Yeah, I think of our brain as like something we can take to the gym, right? It's like all the stuff that's going on in here, like I do have control over this, or at least what I want to focus on, right? Yeah. So the best thing, the way it was described to me, was imagining like a news ticker. It's just like the bottom of the screen. It's just ongoing thoughts all day long. And like the ones that I don't like, I can just let scroll on by, right? And they just go away.
Don't have to follow it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's like ESPN, there's constant scores and updates, and it's like, really care about any of those teams. So let's just let that all keep on going by. Oh, look, there's the college I went to. And now we just keep going. Yeah, you just pick out that one nugget that you need and just let all of the 6,000 other thoughts just go in the day. So I had forgotten about this aspect of conversations that people have about other people's bodies and families. And you reminded me of it when I was reading through your book. And it was that whole thing about, especially, I think this happens mostly in families where they will guide the conversation to health. Like, are you sure you're healthy? Because surely you must not be. And that they don't believe that you could be healthy in that body. And it just was very fascinating to me and reminded me that we have said a number of times that just because you're a smaller person, it doesn't make you any more healthy under the hood. And you often can be considered, in the traditional sense, very skinny and have a high body fat percentage or other metabolic issues, or name the thing that goes awry in a body. Like, it still is happening regardless of the size. So I just wanted to see if there was anything, is that still an ongoing conversation in your family about size and health, or have you finally been able to be like, get them to be on the kibosh about those topics?
My family has gotten this message mostly because it's my job now. So they have to really listen to me.
Yeah.
They never have to listen to me. They don't really listen to me. I'm the baby of the family, and everyone's like, that's nice. But on this topic, I do not have to worry about those conversations anymore in my home when I go see my parents.
How long did that take? Was that like a long, had to keep reminding them?
My whole life. I mean, I was always being told to lose weight.
Well, once you started to be like, no, this is my size, like you took full acceptance of it and you started really shifting how you feel about yourself, not carrying around all those negative thoughts all day, every day. Once you started embracing yourself and be like, and pushing back, like, was that still like a hard road with your family?
Yeah. I hadn't pushed back at all. I mean, I just think that I was always too big. Like it was always kind of on the table. Like, Katie's so big, she's going to eat the whole thing. I don't know. So that had always been on the table my whole life. And so really this kind of don't talk about my body happened after I had gained a significant amount of weight when I was like 35. And that's when I really had to like draw the line and tell them, we don't talk about this anymore. And that took years to implement. 5, maybe 6.
You're like, just yesterday. I think
I'm literally telling you it just happened. Yeah. No, yeah. Okay, I would say 5 or 6 years, truly. It's recent, but that it's been let off the table.
Yeah.
When that was happening, like, how does that impact your relationships?
That's what I have to say. My parents will listen to this. My mom will listen. My sister will listen, and they'll be like, well, what the fuck? And so I'm just saying, it's not that I don't blame them, because they're just carrying out what they see in the world. They're just mirroring the actions that you see out in the world, which is someone gains weight, you talk to them.
Well, I'm curious, like, because it doesn't sound like the way you presented it in your book that it affected your relationships with them. No. But I know some people won't go home or call their family because their body boundaries, their talk about their body boundaries are never there. Yeah. And so they still continue to ask questions and make comments and things like that. So they just don't have a relationship with their family.
That's really sad, and it's really hard. And it's also ultimately the choice of not the individual, but the family who's refusing to listen to them. Like, that's, and you can't just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Right?
So I feel like the holidays are looming. We're about to go into the series of holidays. So
are we? Okay.
I'm not ready. Really? I know. Are you sure?
Well, we have some Jewish holidays coming up.
No,
We've got Halloween.
Right. We're on the like.
Yeah, we're like on the downward, like Halloween, then Thanksgiving, then all the other, December holidays. So for those people who might be challenged with these boundaries and boundary setting, I don't know, do you have any like advice going into the holidays?
I do. It's a pre-call. It's like a pre-boundary set. And you can do it on Zoom or on the phone or whatever, FaceTime. And you just say, whoever the offending relative is, you're like, hey, brother, like, I'm coming home. One thing I don't want to hear anything about is my body. It's not a topic. It's not anything I'm going to address with you. And if that's a problem for you, I don't need to come home. I want to, but I'm not going to. And then that is quite a hard line that people usually will react poorly to. And it's like, I'm just out here I'm worried about you. And then that is followed by, right? That's the health question. That's followed by you. I'm not sure whoever you are as an individual, what you're doing like with your health or doctors or anything, but that's my line is just to say, I have a doctor and we discuss my health and I'm good. I'm good to talk about that with my doctor. I don't need to talk to you about it. And that family member is not going to like that either.
Yeah, and it's okay for them to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the challenging part, right? Is I don't want to make anyone mad. I mean, honestly, a lot of like emotional eating and stuff comes up with people pleasing, right? Like, we don't want to be rude. We don't want to make anyone mad. We're trying to manage other people's emotions by making ourselves be a certain way, which I've been totally guilty of. That's probably most of what my therapy was in my 30s, right? But it's like, oh, it's okay to set a boundary. And if that boundary makes someone upset, it's okay for them to feel upset. And then like, hopefully they'll get over it, or, you know, they get to manage that feeling however they want. Yeah. And I think the willingness to have those tough conversations is really important, even when it's hard. One way that like really opened my eyes to the people pleasing was like, this is actually like somebody called it's manipulation, right? Me trying to not let you be mad is me manipulating your life experience. And I was like, what?
Oh, yeah. But you've told me that. And then either we've talked about it and then I think about that with like people. And then I think about it. Oh my God, my kids.
Yeah,
like,
we do. Because we're trying
because they whine all the time, right? And so I'm just like, can you just not whine? You know, just trying to make it through this sightseeing thing. And I'm like, well, she finds this miserable. I should just let her have her experience. And I was like, but she's ruining everybody else's experience. And then I'm like, so it's just like it's like a funny little thing, but I can see like where it creeps in and like in ways that you don't intend to at dinners and all these other places. You can see these microaggressions of the people pleasing on both sides.
Yeah, and like people pleasing is microaggression, and it can be passive aggressive too. You know, it's like, actually, we're just trying to manage everyone else's feelings. And I'm like, whoa, what if I didn't do that? It means I would upset some people, but that would be okay because I'm allowing them to have their most authentic human experience by not interfering with it. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
Oh man, that blew my brain because I am a people pleaser for sure.
It's a fine line because sometimes you're like, I really don't want to hurt this person's feeling. And me telling them the truth is like, potentially it might hurt.
I feel like now that I'm just in therapy on this call, I just feel like it's more that like, I like don't want anyone to be mad at me. And it's not about being honest. It's more like, I just want to deal with whatever that is. So I'm just going to ignore it. Yeah. Like, I'm just going to maneuver things so that no one's mad.
That's a lot of effort that you're creating for yourself just to avoid someone else's discomfort. And then like you feel discomfort managing all their discomfort.
If we take it back to the holidays and people being home and you take that one next step and people are like, well, I always feel so overfull or I don't even like the thing that aunt brings, whatever. But if you don't eat something that everybody brings, then they feel bad. And so even around like eating the traditional family foods and how much you're expected to eat or how like both too much or too little, like there's always these like constant little things that people are having to worry about to please family members because God forbid you don't like somebody's pumpkin pie. Like, come on, like let's just not eat the pumpkin pie if you don't like it. Like, stop trying to manage everybody else's feelings just because you don't want to eat pumpkin pie.
Yeah, I think the whole holiday season is just about people pleasing, basically. So we'll have to
And
talk more about that one. Which Beth was interesting because I think you said in Japan they're like it's rude if you don't finish your food. So they're like we don't care if you're full, like you better fucking eat it. Is that the deal?
Yeah, we are learning a phrase that you every once in a while can say. It's really good, but I'm really full. But yeah, some of the places that we choose to go as a family or not is depending on like how much of that food my daughter can eat because she eats a little bit a lot all the time. And so she never eats just like a full size meal. And so she's
yeah,
just like eats a little bit. And then like an hour or two later, she would be happily take that. But you can't do to go here. And so we're just like, oh
right.
God. So my husband and son overate at this hamburger place because they didn't want to leave the hamburger, like a half of a hamburger on the
But like
plate.
what
And I was like,
happens?
ooh,
Is
like
it just
watching
like
them do
is it
it.
like a cultural side eye? Like what is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, it's a cultural side eye and a feeling of, oh God, I'm so sorry. But yeah, there's a lot of I just bring a lot of leftover rice from 7-Eleven home or bento boxes, and we just keep eating it in different other meals. But at home, we would totally just throw that away.
So why don't they do to go? Sorry to be on a sideline about Japan
I
again.
think
Garbage.
they don't want to be responsible if you don't take care of like packaging it right,
Yeah,
like
like reheating it
refrigerating it,
properly or
reheating,
yeah.
yeah. Like so it's like quality of taste. So then like they'll be like, well, it doesn't taste good anymore, and they'll think that it's on the person that made it. And then also they don't want to be responsible if you get sick for doing that. But it has a lot to do with like, but it's not packaging because they are down with lots of packaging here. So it's not that they don't want to create any more packaging because that's not the issue. It's
Oh.
more like this like other thing of like they don't want to be responsible that it tastes bad when you get home or that you've gotten food poisoning.
Oh, I'm so dumb. I thought it was 100% about packaging because they don't allow eating in the streets is like not cool. And
Yeah.
I thought there's no garbages.
Yeah, you deal with that on your own time in your
Right.
own place. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because I mean, if you go anywhere, literally everything is in a package, and they'll put your package inside of another package inside of your to-go bag. So
Okay.
I don't think it's that. Like it's package galore. I thought the U.S. used a lot of plastic packaging. Oh no, no,
I, wow. Yeah, I guess you're right.
it is
They do recycle
intense.
the gotcha packages, on the vending machines. Have you gone to the gotcha vending machines?
I've been to a vending machine, yes, but
They
there's so many, so.
they drop out the toys or whatever.
Oh,
They're
okay.
called
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
gotcha
Yes,
vending
we haven't
machines.
seen those yet.
Okay, they're all over and they do recycle those balls. So I will give Japan some credit for that one thing.
Yeah, only the water bottles are recycled here, number one, and then everything else you put in this bin called your burnable garbage. And so there's a lot of stuff that goes in burnable garbage. And we've left some ramen. We've shared some ramen. Was like really nerve-wracking for me for the first time because I knew she couldn't eat it all. Um, but yeah, we did it. We hurt the neighbor ramen feeling. It's right next to the 7-Eleven. That's also 2-minute walk away. Ramen, 7-Eleven. You get to pick.
Okay, well, on
Okay.
that note, let's move on to the shameless self promotion section of our podcast. Katie, what do you have going on that you want to share with our audience now?
Oh, we are transitioning into fall, as we've discussed. And I always say that fall is the perfect time to update your deodorant because you're dealing with a little less heat. So I would say for MegaBabe, this is the best time to there she is, green
Oh,
tea.
wow. Good job. Good job.
Nice. It's the best time to switch from deodorant that it has aluminum in it to some natural deodorant from MegaBabe. We make 3 different formulas. We have a space bar that you use on your armpits every time you shower, and an armpit mask.
It's a charcoal bar.
Oh, yes, that
Yep.
is new. I saw that in my email. Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
Amazing.
I like the charcoal bar. I also have the mask. What's the butt mask called?
Oh, Latouche.
Yes, Latouche.
I love Latouche. Yeah. I love it too. Have you put it on your face, Jess?
I will. I need to. So somewhere in the last year, maybe after I had a baby, my skin got sensitive.
Oh, it's
Like
don't do it.
I
Don't do it.
used to be able to put like acid on my face
Yeah.
and just be like,
Yeah.
no big deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if it
Don't-
wasn't burning, it wasn't working. But now my skin is like very sensitive, so I have to be a little careful. But I could always just try it and take it off. So I will, and
Don't do it.
I'll let you know how it goes. But I'm obsessed. I just use Bust Dust today because I'll go for a walk. I come back sweating. I shower and I'm still sweating, and then I just powder my entire body.
So did you, when you came to Japan, were you here to bring the products to Japan?
No, I was there on a brand trip, but I think Japan would love my products, but we don't sell there yet.
Okay, because I'm like, I didn't plan properly for all this humidity, so I'm like, I need all of this sweaty
It doesn't,
things.
to be honest with you, like at that level,
No.
nothing matters. Like the bust dust, it's gonna get clumpy. Like it's all just
Okay.
it's too hot. It's
It's
just
a
too hot.
different
Okay,
level.
but that's what I will say about Bust Dust is I have put it on where I'm still dripping sweat and it didn't clump. Like it just absorbed and like moved around, and I was like, that's why I thought this was amazing because it's so good.
That's amazing, and I think maybe it's the humidity that pushes it
Over
to
the
it.
lemon.
Oh, so like the dry sweat versus
Yeah, maybe
humidity
dry sweat
sweat.
is those hot ass Texas temps, but there's something about the humidity with me, at least I find that
Yeah.
I'll still put it on, but like it's just I'm like it's so hot.
Right.
Yeah.
I
So
gotcha.
I'm just
Okay. You're just
sniffing the
sniffing.
DO.
And then
The
I
DO
do have
is-
I know that this is not really a part. So in the La Touche, is it glycolic acid? What? Because if you can put it on your face and your tush, is that like what's helping?
Yep, we have glycolic acid. There's physical exfoliants in there too, tiny little ones. It's a facial grade butt mask.
Okay. I'm new to the glycolic acid, and I'm like, oh, I've been doing it wrong for quite some time. So that makes sense. Okay, so I can go tush to face.
Yeah.
Just to face.
And
Yeah.
obviously, so I like to send clients this book, but if you guys don't have the book Body Talk, make sure that you order your copy because it is I think it's
It's
just a
so
fun
fun.
read.
Open it up because
I
the
just opened
pictures
to the
are really
one thing,
fun.
but yeah, like it's just designed real cute. I'm not doing
Yes.
I gotta look at it more. Maybe I'm gonna get wallpaper made out of that. It's so cute.
It is really cute.
I
It's
mean,
a
whoever did like the graphic design and all that nailed
I
it.
know she's really talented. I think actually I might get wallpaper made. I don't know.
Is there another book in your future?
Yes. I'm writing my first fiction book right now.
Is it a kid's book?
I wish. No one wants a kid's book from me. No one wants a mystery thriller from me. I am writing a rom-com, and I'm really excited about that. And I would love to do body talk for kids,
Oh my gosh,
please.
yes.
but
Yeah.
I can't.
Kids and or teens, right? Because sometimes we
I
have
know.
parents or teens
Well-
that need a little support.
You know what I think about, like, your book reminded me so much of my 10, 11-year-old self. And it's like that is the time when you need a kid's version of Body Talk.
Yeah, yeah.
Right when you start your period.
Yeah,
10
you're
to
starting
12.
to, because I went through early puberty, and so and full boobs in 4th, 5th grade, and there's just a lot of conversation. You're just like, well, what's happening? And so that Body Talk book for like a version at 10, 11 is like the key time, because other than that, it's like weird puberty period conversations. No one wants to have those.
Are people like more chill about periods now? Like, is it
Yeah.
like more widely?
Yes, there's like
think
period
so.
parties now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Get to have
Yeah.
like a whole period party now.
Or there's brands that make kits where it's like a gift box. So like on your first period, you get all the things in a box, or like I don't know.
Or you
But-
keep it in your backpack because you know it's coming anytime. And so then you're not at school. Like, so you just have one in your backpack in this like little cute bag. So that way when it strikes at school, which for whatever reason always does. And so then you're
And white shorts.
and yeah, so you know what to do at school.
Okay.
So you have everything like all prepped and like ready to go.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll take that.
it's
That's
happening.
awesome.
Gosh, I feel like we could do a whole podcast just talking about periods. and like from age 10 all the way through potential perimenopause.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're not following Katie Sturino, go find her on Instagram at Katie Sturino. You're also on TikTok, yeah.
I'm on TikTok. Yep.
You're everywhere,
Yeah.
so
Yep.
go find her. All right. Well, I sure hope we gave you something new to think about today and helped you take one more step on your path to freeing yourself from diet culture. Please be sure to subscribe to this podcast and follow us on Instagram at path_nutrition. We also have a course that helps you learn how to eat normal. Together, we'll lay the foundation for a healthier you. Go to pathnutrition.com/foundations to get started. Bye.